Before this video starts, I want to know your boys' thoughts, man. Arsenal have just beaten Tottenham 3-2 in the Premier League. Let me know who you think's going to win the league. It's going to be a good thing right here, right now, boys, with about 5 league games to go. Obviously, City have a few extra games to play as well to catch up. But, yeah, let us know. Manchester City or Arsenal? Let's see your boys' predictions, man, right here, right now, right? With 5 games to go in the league season, who do you think's going to win the league? Drop it in the comments, man. And we'll come back to this in a couple of weeks. Obviously, when the season finishes. Man. How are you all doing, though, boys? Welcome back to the FK Sports channel. As I say, Arsenal narrowly beating Tottenham 3-2 in the Premier League, man. North London derby. First half, man, absolutely flew by, and Arsenal were in that 3-0 lead pretty much after half an hour. It was a crazy one, though, because 3-0 to Arsenal, you think, are they absolutely dominating Spurs? It wasn't really the thing. It was more just their clinicalness, I guess, or whatever word you want to say. It was more just how clinical they were in front of goal. Spurs weren't like that. Spurs gave away some goals quite cheap. I think the second one, man, I mean, they were all upfield. The switch ball over to Saka was a perfect ball. He's one-on-one with a defender. I think it was Davis. Cuts inside him. When you're one-on-one with Saka, backtracking into your own box, you know you're in problems. And Ben Davis found that out, of course. And obviously Arsenal doubled their lead, man. Obviously the first goal from the corner, the Højbjerg own goal. You know what I mean? It's a rough one to concede, especially, you want to set the tone. Being the home side, Tottenham in this derby, and yeah, to fall behind, with any goal, but that goal like that, they conceding the way they did, and then that second one, as I've mentioned, boys, it was rough, man. And then 3-0, and another corner. Set pieces today, Spurs were very, very poor, man. I mean, Vicario has been a little bit like that this season in a sense where he's a good goalkeeper, a good shot stopper, but when it comes to like corners and sometimes like claiming the ball, he can be a little bit shaky. And I mean, I can relate to that. I'm a United fan, as many of you boys know, and Andre Onana is very like that for us. So, yeah, Vicario has a little bit of that in him. He's got a mistake in him. But speaking of goalkeeper mistakes, Vicario, okay, we'll see what we'll have on him. But obviously 3-0 to Arsenal going into half-time. I thought Spurs, if they can get that goal before half-time, the whole momentum changes. They didn't manage to do that. Second half, though, the game was drifting for a bit. 60 minutes was hitting. I'm thinking to myself, right, I'm going to be recording this post-match video, and I'm thinking, right, it's going to be a... what we got in the thumbnail? 3 or 4-0 Arsenal, right? It's going to be that kind of game where they just probably see it out, get another goal. And it's the sign of the way they're playing recently, because they're not just beating teams, they're beating teams really, really comfortably. And as I say today, I was thinking, right, if they beat this Spurs team very comfortably, it just shows how strong they are. Didn't quite happen, though, obviously. Mistake from David Raya. Very, very stupid mistake. I mean, he's trying to split the two Tottenham forwards pressing him. Romero as well was a Tottenham forward at that point. Gets himself up there, gets his reward, wins the ball back high, finishes it well for a centre-back, and Spurs are back in the game. And that's the thing, all throughout the game, it was kind of one of those ones where in that first half, even though they were 3-0 down going into half-time, Spurs were, for me, just as good as Arsenal. Arsenal didn't play well today, but they still won the game, and that's a sign of champions, of course. That's the whole thing today, boys. Spurs are the home team. So, I knew if they would get one goal, it would, especially in a derby game like this, North London derby, I knew it would set the fans, emotions high, and it would get them back in the game. They got that through a mistake from Raya, awful mistake, and then obviously the penalty late in the game, and there's no question for me about the penalty. One thing I will just say, just on the topic of penalties, the one with Kulusevski in the first half, I mean, there's 2 penalty shouts from Spurs in that first half, with Saka's second goal. For me, the Maddison one, never a pen. I can see this Kulusevski one being given, though. He's travelling, he's moving with the ball into the box, onto that left foot, and he just gets his heels clipped a little bit. I can see if that was given by another ref. It's certainly not a Stonewall pen or anything out there. I can see why it wasn't given. I can see why, if it was given, I can see why it was given. It's one of those ones, it's 50-50. It's the ref on the day, the VAR on the day. Wasn't given to Spurs, and obviously, double trouble for them. They don't get the pen, and then Arsenal up the other end score with the Saka. So, their penalty late in the game, though, no question. Rice, I think he booted the Spurs player. He missed the ball. I don't know who it was. I think it was Kulusevski maybe again. That got booted. But yeah, penalty given, rightly so, and dispatched by Son, 3-2. Just didn't quite really, they had 6 minutes out of time. They just never really could push on from that. Obviously, it's the case of just working the ball out wide, getting crossed into that box later on. Vicario come up from for the last corner, but just wasn't the be for Spurs, man. But I think if they played another 10 minutes, man, Arsenal were shaking. But it's inevitable, right? Any team would be, when they've just conceded, they're winning 3-0, a supposed comfortable lead they've got. Concede 1, concede 2, it's only going to give, it's only going to add fuel to the fire for the home fans, and that's what it did. And obviously all the Tottenham fans are trying to will that ball into the net, crosses coming into the box, just couldn't get it. They just could not get that third elusive goal. unfortunately for them. But for Arsenal, you know, they've seen it out yet again. They'll not remember this game in terms of their league run. It's not a game that they've slipped up on. Some people said they would. They very nearly did, but they didn't. And fair play to them. So they are still running City close. City obviously play at the time of recording this, and the time you boys will see this video, City play Nottingham Forest literally in about half an hour's time. So it's probably already kicked off by the time you boys see this. So very interesting to see how they do today. I mean, that's the thing with City though, and that's why, you know, get your comments in. Let me know who you think's going to win this league, City or Arsenal. This is why I've said City all along, boys. You know, City are leading the league now. Well, they're going to be leading the league if they win their games in hand. And they're still big favourites for me. But I said City were going to win the league even when Arsenal were leading outright earlier in the year. And even when Liverpool were leading outright. You know, when I say outright, I mean, like, you know, everyone's played the same games. So, yeah, now that City are, you know, technically if they win all their added games or additional games in hand, they will be top of the league. There's no reason for me to change that, right? I've said City all along. I'm a United fan. I don't want City to win the league, but they just come into their own this time of the season. They don't feel... Pep's got them drilled that well. They don't feel pressure, you know. I arguably think that, you know, Arsenal have probably been the best footballing team this year. I don't think City have been at their best or anywhere near the best they can play. You know, they got put out of the Champions League by Madrid. But City have a way of doing things, man. They just, even when they're not playing their best, they can grind results. So they might play awful at Forest later, but they've got quality in all areas of the pitch, and that'll win them the game. I'm sure. So, yeah, I can't see City dropping many more points, if any, boys. And, yeah, that's why I'm going with Arsenal, or with City winning the league. But Arsenal, fair play to them. They're keeping the pressure on. Drop it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this game today. If you're an Arsenal fan or a City fan especially, where do you see the title going? Obviously, you're going to back your own team, but let us know. You know, I think respect to both teams, man, because Arsenal, yet again this season, fair play to them, man. They're running City close. Yet again, as I say, I think City will win the league. But it's keeping it interesting. You know, it is keeping it interesting for the league as well. So, let me know your thoughts. Of course, keep liking up the video. Really appreciate anyone hitting that thumbs up for me. Every like on a video, boys, pushes it higher up on the search, higher up on the homepage, recommendation pages, which means this channel, this video, is getting out to more and more people. If you are one of those new people, welcome aboard the FK Sports channel. We do, you know, football topical news videos, any big news in the football world, we'll cover that. And of course, we do all these post-match kind of reaction videos as well. We are doing watch-alongs starting back very soon as well, starting with the UEFA Champions League semi-finals, so we're going to be doing those. So yeah, boys, if you've enjoyed today's video, please do smash that subscribe button for me. It'd be very much appreciated. Join the channel. We're very near at 300 subscribers now. And yeah, I will see you boys in the next video, man. Peace out.